Well, that's a lot of things we could potentially see in the bottom left side. We're looking at the main base of our Canadian Terran player. Looked great yesterday. Can he do it again? It is MaSa.
Oh, that's a checklist, buddy.
I see it. We're gonna check it down together, mate.
All right. And on the top right-hand side, it is Silky. You'll see at least 2 items on it.
Well, we could very well be at least seeing the Reapers over here in game 1. We saw MaSa open up with the Reapers yesterday as well on Submarine in game 1 against TLO. Back then he faced a 12 pool, so needless to say he had a very good time. There was no
Does
circling.
this check off proxy barracks as well from the list, Roddy?
No,
No? Okay.
because it's way closer to his own base than it is to the base of Silky. Come on now.
All right.
I mean, I know you're trying to hit bingo over here, but not that quick.
I'll get him. So many Reapers will be made. I really find this very difficult to deal with as a Zerg player. I think your response has to be just perfect. With Lynx, it can get out of control very easily. So I think Roaches is maybe the more stable response, but it can get spicy no matter what. Reapers are nasty creatures, even if just a few of them.
I can definitely relate to that. I hate a single Reaper already, so I can't imagine how it feels to deal with 10 plus Reapers. I'm glad that it's not really a thing. Actually, for a while they tried to make it a thing in TVP, and sometimes if you lose your first unit and you don't have a shield battery, it actually becomes really hard. But that's obviously just if you don't scout. If you do scout, then you should always be fine. It's a lot easier to deal with this for Protoss than it is for Zerg. But of course, the barracks are not proxied, so it takes a little while before the Reapers really make their way to the other side of the map. As long as Silky doesn't underreact to this, I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, brilliant timing on the drone there, right? Like missing the Reaper just by a second to make sure that he is in the 3rd location. So very nice, tight gameplay from Silky, but it's going to get messy no matter what.
Yeah. First queen taking quite a bit of damage already, but the second queen is coming down to help out. Obviously, these are scenarios that MaSa is very comfortable in playing from. I think Silky is going to be a little more, it's like, this is not really that much of a thing these days. There aren't that many Terran players to do it. I think of like Ziggy on the European meta, who will still do this build quite often. That's kind of about it, right? The real glory days of the Reapers are over, but that doesn't mean that they are no longer good, and it's important that you kind of protect your links. It's an interesting way of dealing with this, by the way. Silky is not going for the Roach Warren. He just wants to defend with links, basically get an insane amount of Zerglings out and then go for the surround. Queen goes down, but within 5 seconds, Zergling speed finishes up, and that means that these Reapers are going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, a lot of them already weak. The grenades are really good from MaSa, though, and he's not going to lose a single one. Almost loses one to grenades. A little bit scary, the positioning here. But
lose a lot of them now.
God, I'm not sure why he poked back in there. That was great. He got away, and then he went back in.
Especially because so many of the Reapers were already very low on HP, right? At least wait until they regen. I totally agree with you there. That seemed a bit unnecessary. Silky is going to be able to pick off the majority of the Reapers. Wants to get one more. Might still get these as well because the Zergling numbers are really high. I gotta say, this is pretty damn good for him, man.
Amazing for Silky, Roddy. I mean, when you go for the links, it's often not enough against 3 racks. I think he was expecting 2 racks Reapers. So to have shut down 3 racks as early as he has and committed as little as he has and have map control with the links, so no thirds will happen. A little too good.
Yep, there's actually nothing right now. I mean, finally a Reaper and a Marine pop, but even just defending the wall is going to be a little bit annoying here for MaSa. I gotta say, MaSa kind of messed it up. And for a man with that much experience with Reapers, I am a little bit surprised by that. Look at that. Silky dropping the Banelings Nest. Wonder if he thinks about getting feisty here.
I think it's fine to get Banelings just defensively in case MaSa does follow-up attack. He's gonna know that it's not Reapers. I could see him getting feisty, I suppose. There's no Hellion, so that's kind of a go signal if you can afford it.
I actually think if he would have made nothing but links and would have gone for a Baneling bus there when MaSa had 2 army supply, I actually believe he would have just been able to walk away with the game. But it's not necessary. And if you're playing in the DreamHack StarCraft 2 Summer Masters, you don't really want to take risks that are not very necessary, especially not if you're already in a good position to just turn this into a macro game. MaSa also playing Bio this game, by the way, obviously as a follow-up. We saw the Tech Lab spinning there, Silky's aware of it. So no mech, at least in game 1.
Yeah, the best thing to do sometimes is go to your comfort zone. I'm sure Bly could have dropped a Bailing Nest, and I would have been like, this is definitely the right call, right? Like just leaning on the aggression. Because if he smells blood, he'll know blood. Silky knows more the macro game than the early game, perhaps. So in spite of how good that was at the start, he's just gonna leverage that advantage into more economy.
Spire goes down now 6 minutes into the game, which honestly is quite alright, especially with the economy that Silky is working with after defending against the 3RX Reaper opening. I don't really know where you take this game if you're MaSa. I guess you just kind of sit back, wait at least for 1-1 upgrades to be done. I mean, it feels like it's going to take such a long time before MaSa can really get out on the map and start being adventurous, right?
Yeah, and this is not his comfort zone exactly either to kind of have settled without that aggression this Overlord. If he gets caught, that would be so funny, but it looks like Silky will be going for this little drop. It's looking very good for him. I like the creep spread as well.
I mean, 4 base coming up, or 4th base coming up rather. 68 drones. Spire pretty much done. Double Evo chamber at the back of all of this. And now the Lings are going to show up in the main base as well. They're going to be somewhat annoying. Obviously, Stim Marine should be able to deal with this, but you need to send enough. So far, it's not enough. I mean, I feel like because everything is going great for Silky over here.
Yeah, and he's gonna know that this army is not on the other side as well, so he might engage here and will at least push back the medevacs. So creep will be pushed once again, and he has Muta coming, which is really uncharacteristic. Zergs like to stay on Ling Bane for longer these days, but the game has been going so great for him. I think Muta could just be the way to close it.
Actually connecting with a single Baning there as well, so a few Marines go down. I mean, I don't think we have a single turret yet out on the map, so I kind of love the Mutas. That's also going to shut down these medevacs. MaSa is most likely not going to be able to save this, even though there is that boost available. There are the first Widow Mines. Can we get a proper hit? No. She's forced to one burrow. Silky's going to try to pick it off. Silky will pick it off, and all of this
He's going.
so good for the Zerg.
Yeah, it's amazing. Great trades from him. All of the Mutas pretty much have stayed alive. A couple going back down to Widow Mines, but for the most part, the rest of them are just bruised and can live to fight another day. Okay. Yeah, Silky's in a great position, Roddy. I think he just needs to... Come on, no, not as we're praising you. And he just has to defend, I think, and then load up and go for another one. Just continue to saturate up, tech up. He's doing all the right things.
You're spot on. I mean, this is 80 against 60 workers. Silky's going up to 5 bases. Probably just wait for his upgrades to finish up. Like, I think those fights off creep were super unnecessary, but it just shows how confident Silky is feeling in this game. Actually feels confident enough to fight these Mutas straight up as well. There is an Overseer there. Trying to bait out the Mine Shot, and it actually works as well. So now Silky can engage the rest of the army. There are plenty of Banelings rolling forward. The Marine numbers are kind of underwhelming, and the Mutas can fight this.
Yeah, and they can snowball as well, and this is what happened last time. It's that Silky feels like maybe he can continue to push on fourth after clearing an attack of MaSa, and that just speaks to his position. I mean, I think the fights off creep were actually really good trades for him, right?
Yep. No, I think everything has worked out. It wasn't necessary, but they were still good in the end. MaSa really has nothing going for himself. I mean, maybe when 2-2 upgrades kick in, he's going to have a little window to get a couple of decent trades. But at this point, basically, MaSa doesn't just need to do all right. He needs to absolutely crush a fight, so he then has a strong follow-up attack or maybe a drop somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good point. If anything, I think Silky is macroing a little bit too well to where he is not teching up, because he's just spending his money and his larva all the time. And, that was not a good trade. That's a lot of larva gone. That could have been a hive worth of links that he just lost.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that his money is so low, right? Because where is that money going into then? I guess the double upgrades. There are a couple of Banelings here. The Banes once again get pretty decent connections. It just makes the leftover Marines a little too weak and the numbers too low for MaSa to really capitalize. We do have our first drop though in the triangle base of Silky, and it's a decent drop immediately, and maybe this will actually allow MaSa to make some good progress on the bottom side of the map as well.
We'll see. I think that Silky is also playing his opponent, just not teching. Finally, the Infestation Pit goes up. But yeah, I mean, he's read the situation well. MaSa is going to be aggressive no matter what. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, Roddy, with the Terrans sometimes not knowing when to stay back. I think that's the case here. I mean, he keeps trading. This is what Silky wants.
Yep. That mine shot actually splashing all over the Medivacs. MaSa just never really has the amount of Marines left over that I'm like, wow, okay, now we can, like, you know, good splits and fight. It's always MaSa splits and then it's like 8, 9, 10 Marines. That's just not enough. I don't think Silky really needs to be taking these fights. I think it's a little bit risky. But now a few of the Medivacs go down as well, as the Mutas are still kind of uncontested. Like,
yeah, it's the snowball effect.
Yeah,
I think the links are basically disposable, and you engage and try to kill as much as you can with the Muta. And when the link buffer is gone, you want to get out. So he's not really losing much because he's keeping his Muta numbers up. I think he's doing this well. I don't know what MaSa can do.
I mean, MaSa's all-inning, but he's not even getting close to where he really wants to be, right?
Yeah.
All the fights
Creep keeps getting pushed too.
Most of the fights are happening off creep, but that doesn't really bother Silky. Muta numbers are so high, we often have a Muta for every single Marine, and that's obviously not super common. We do have another drop sneaking to a base at the left side of the main. And these drops are actually getting some decent damage done and pulling Silky all the way out of position. The problem is that MaSa is not rich enough to really capitalize on these little victories.
Yeah, it makes him space, but the game state is not favorable for him. I mean, he has mined out base at this point at his main, right? There's barely anything there. So things are going to get worse and worse for MaSa, who's running out of steam, essentially, out of fuel.
Great macro by Silky. Just always have enough Zerglings and Banelings. The Muta's going to dive on top of these Marines as well. And MaSa's attack is officially running out of steam. He's being pushed back all the way into his third base while we have a 5-base Silky. I think that this is the beginning of the end there. MaSa knows it. He's just, he's out of it. GG gets called. Silky takes the game 1. Takes the lead in the series and looked damn good in doing it.
Yeah, really convincing game 1. I mean, he looked in control the entire time. The one bit of time that was problematic for him was with the Reapers, and I think that's when MaSa already kind of just lost, right? Like, he lost the complete control of the game then.
Yeah, MaSa did a great job at first, like getting the Queen, getting out of there, and then he saved his Reapers with the grenades as well. We were both all kind of like, wow! And then he just went back in with a lot of Reapers that were not regenerated yet, and then ended up losing like 7 or 8 Reapers. And at that point, Silky's like, cool, now I can build drones for the next 4 minutes. All right, like I can do that. 82 drones, double evil, Spire. I mean, it was Silky's game to lose at that point, and I really don't think he was ever in any trouble.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see the idea somewhat. It's kind of like you're gonna squeeze a few extra link kills if your opponent's not paying attention. You know, you click on those links, maybe get 1 or 2, and most often the reaction from the Zerg player is gonna be to run away, the gut reaction. But Silky was very quick in saying, you're on creep a little bit, and jumped forward instead, right? So really well done by him too, not flinching, or perhaps even just looking at that particular space and time and capitalizing on it, wins in the game pretty easily.
Next map is going to be played on Pillars of Gold, also a very large map. Everdream, of course, one of the smaller maps, and is pretty good, I think, for Zerg. Most Zergs, at least in Europe, seem to think that the map is all right. And if the European Zergs say it's all right, it means that they're pretty damn happy with it, and they just kind of want to keep it the way it is. So we'll see what happens on Pillars of Gold. I feel MaSa has a pretty decent mech play in him, right? Like, he's quite all right with it.
He can do anything, yeah. Yeah, MaSa is a jack of all trades, and that is his biggest strength, I think, that he can do just about anything, and he can do everything well. Maybe not anything spectacularly, like he's no beyond with the Reapers, but you know, he's pretty good type thing. So let's see. That's, I mean, big bag of tricks here. I want to see the proxy starport because that's the boldest prediction.
Yeah. With MaSa, I always think of proxy 2 or 3 racks as well, but I don't know if you really want to do that after that game 1 that really didn't go your way. Felt like MaSa never got anything truly going. Like the attacks, if you're being pushed back off creep while you're the one going for the 3 base all in, you know that it's not your game. And do you really want to put it all on the line then with a proxy Rex. This is also a map where the Marines have to go up a ramp. Now, of course, if you get a bunker on top of the ramp, that doesn't matter that much. But I don't know, man. It would feel very risky to me because this is such an important series for both of them. MaSa's already down 0-1. Going for proxy barracks then, if it gets scouted, you're in all sorts of trouble. I don't know. I don't think I'd do it.
Maybe that's why he might. It's unexpected. MaSa is a crazy man. We're loaded now into the game and is spawning in the top left-hand side. It is the man himself, MaSa.
Was kind of the bottom. But the man who's actually spawning on the top right side is our Zerg player. He's up 1-0. It is Silky.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, to your point, I think you play to your comfort zone. But my question is, what is MaSa's comfort zone, right? And I want to say it's aggression. It's not like sit back and chill, right? For sure.
No, I definitely agree with you. MaSa is the kind of player that I feel doesn't really want to look on his side of the map. He's always out there with a couple of medevacs going for some multi-prong. It's just last game. It's not too fair, obviously, to judge MaSa on it because he had very limited tools to work with. Tried to make the best of it. Maybe a few times he could have waited for a few more Marines because now the numbers were so low that even if just a single Baneling connects with 4 or 5 Marines, it felt that the rest of his army didn't have enough firepower to really stand and hold their ground. So maybe he could have been a tiny bit more patient. But I also understand that he felt like, well, I gotta do something because Silky is hella rich and he's playing double evil, so we need to get out there on the map, make something happen. It's like, yeah, after the Reaper Star doesn't work out, I just kind of feel like it is what it is. You don't want to tap out there, but you know it's going to be a damn hard game.
Yeah, most definitely. And it showed. I mean, Silky played great, and he showed that he can keep a lead and definitely capitalize. So we'll see if he's able to create a lead for himself and keep it once again into victory, or if MaSa will have something to say on the matter. For now, just a block on the third hatch.
Which is already a start to maybe throw the Zerg off their game just a little bit.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Knowing that the Reaper is going to come, the drone is going to temporarily morph into an extractor. Obviously, it's safe there. Reaper is going to try to be annoying. Would you like to see Mech on Pillars of Gold? Do you think this is an alright map for Mech? Or do you say like, nah, I actually think this map suits Bioplay a lot better?
I'm not quite sure. Mech looks pretty good here, honestly. It feels like you can defend 4 base kind of easily. But I think if anything, MaSa would go for something like Banshees or something of the sort. But I think it's got to be really discouraging seeing as Silky opened so fast for the Mutalisks last game. Let's see. I'm feeling Banshees, if anything.
Okay. You're really stuck on the whole Banshee Hyperflight Rotor thing.
He likes those. He's good with those.
I'm sure he is. We'll see if MaSa is actually able to pull something crazy like that off, or if it's going to be a little more traditional here. These Lings really want to get that SCV. They're getting awfully close. Will they get it? They will not, but they might get the Marine, and that's actually pretty decent too.
I'm surprised he didn't commit further. He would have killed perhaps more SCVs. Now he will. But the Hellions are out. I love this skin, by the way, the tricycles.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's my favorite Hellion skin.
I like the one with all the blades. That one is kind of cool.
True.
But this one is cleaner for sure. I do think it's very clean. This brings me back to another strategy game that I played in the early 90s, where they actually had bicycles. That was very fun.
Bicycles? Was it a Command and Conquer game or?
Yes. But yes. All right, Fusion Core actually.
More tricycles will be created here. They look different, is what I like about them. And, hey, all right, so it's going to be VCs, but it's going to get spotted too. Which makes me think maybe... Roddy?
Yeah, no, like he's actually starting Cloak, and you can say like, oh, this is the fakest Cloak of all time, but it's not if he actually wants to go for Hyperfight Rotors, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Yeah, but that's not going to be the case. I love how he started Cloak right next to the fusion core. It's like, well, you know, what does it really mean? Cats knows I like speed banshees. Maybe you do too. And
Yeah,
Circling's
I
just
mean, you would
casually.
have me confused right now, that's for sure. I'd be like, oh, I'm not falling for that one, buddy.
Well, these Ling run-bys are actually pretty decent, right? A lot of lost mining time. A Hellion goes down as well. Did not expect that. And still these Lings alive. Can I get one more SCV? I have the feeling, though, that this is just not really MaSa's series. I felt against TLO, almost everything went his way. And in this best of 3 so far, I feel like nothing has really gone his way ever since he lost the Reapers.
Yeah, but we're gonna have a big battle cruiser Hellbat, it looks like, attack coming in. Will it be enough? I mean, there's not that much on the side of Silky to answer that.
No.
Gotta be aware of it, though. I mean, it's telegraphed.
Yeah, the queen count is pretty high, to be honest. We have 8 queens, 9 queen on the way, and not a run by as the Hellions are still busy on the other side of the map fighting the queens. I mean, MaSa is just taking way too much damage of these very small, casual circling run-bys. MaSa's economy is in shambles, and I almost feel that his first BC right now becomes an all-in. He's gonna jump on top of all the queens.
Yeah, and on the other side, he lost so many SCVs as well. The battle cruiser will get pushed back, and it's looking too difficult for MaSa, this one to recover. My God.
There were Banelings just casually morphing in the natural, right? And actually
They slammed into 10 SCVs. It could have been worse. That's why I was saying, Roddy, hold me. It was, oh.
Yeah, I saw it. A lot of SCVs indeed super low on HP. So if there's another Ling run by, that's truly going to be the end of the economy of MaSa. But this just feels like one of these series where I want to give MaSa a hug, and I'm like, man, you know, we all have those games where just absolutely nothing goes your way. But all kudos to Silky. Silky's on top of his game. He's making plays happen, and he is the one forcing a lot of these mistakes out of MaSa.
Yeah, really rock solid play from Silky through and through. He has made so many good plays happen, and is putting the pressure onto the veteran and looking like the much better player.
Yeah, this is actually not even looking close at this point. Now, maybe the Hellions can somehow get lucky and find themselves like 16 drones or something to even up this game. At this point, I have a hard time really seeing any of this going anywhere for MaSa.
But Cat's Bingo's still out there, so maybe if he starts those hyperflight rotors.
Is that what we're going to hype up over here? Whether or not the man is going to make hyperflight rotors when he's 21 workers down and there are Mudas in production?
It would be the next level play for sure. But yeah, let's see what all he can do. I mean, he's going to have to continue to produce battle cruisers. He's getting air upgrades. I don't mind this. Battle cruisers can be a very swingy unit, and Mutas are really bad against battle cruisers as well. But he needs to establish an economy at some point, and for Silky's trace to go awfully for a while.
I mean, you were mentioning the Hellion skin. That Battlecruiser skin is actually very pretty, I think. It just looks very clean and powerful, advanced. No?
You can see it, yeah. Like it's the Yamato in there. It's, you can see where the Yamato comes from, right? It's
Yeah, that's actually really sick. This is the 2020 Battlecruiser, you know, the upgraded one from the 2010 edition. We worked 10 years on upgrading our model, and this is what we came with. And it looks good.
very, very nice. Particles colliding inside, and this is a slow march onto the other side of the map. At the same time, the Mutas will catch these aliens. That's a nice catch.
Yeah. I feel like everything in this entire best of 3 has been a nice catch with Silky, right? Like, it's gonna find a couple SCVs here. The battlecruisers did teleport home, but the Mutas are in such overwhelming numbers that they feel confident fighting that. I'm not sure if that's going to work with SCVs repairing the BCs as well, but Silky can definitely afford to lose a Muta or two here.
Yeah, I gotta say, I would have much rather seen the Yamatos used as the Mutas disengaged, because the Muta never win that fight, so loses a little bit of time to Yamato right away. But I mean, battle cruisers are pretty bad at chasing Mutas. There's no turrets ready here.
Nope, there are two.
That was a large.
Yeah, that was a long-range Yamato for sure. I mean, when the Thors are out, it's going to be a little bit easier, obviously, to keep these Mutas at bay, but look at the work account. 83 against 48, 160 supply against 92. Even if all these Mutas just randomly go down to 2 Thor shots, I still like Silky's position.
Yeah, it's looking very, very difficult for MaSa to recover. And he stopped battlecruiser production, now favoring tanks. I'm not sure what that's all gonna do. He's not moving out with them for a while, so maybe hoping that there's some roaches out or something of the sort. I mean, they're not really gonna be too helpful. I guess just provide some extra tankiness for these Thors, who are going to help a great deal against the Muta, but that was pretty decent.
Yeah. I mean, a Thor did go down. The other BC barely survived, so that was obviously good by MaSa to use tactical jump there. But Silky can actually be as reckless as he wants to be at this point. And even if he loses 6 Mutas for every Thor he takes out, those are going to be great trades for him.
You might be right about that, as he's establishing another 2 bases, all while doing all of this. I think he could trade poorly a couple of times and then be in trouble, though. If MaSa gets a 4th going, with this Baneling run by the slow Banelings.
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Not the first time we saw the slow Banelings get good connections here. 19 SCVs go down. More Mutas and Zerglings crashing into the 3rd, and that is going to be